Today I'm just looking at this, but I've been doing so many wishing stars, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about them. This one was stitched on one of those dyed bases. That is like, leaving the original inside here. Originally when I started doing these, I did them many different ways. I think I originally kind of just drew them on, drew a square and then drew some points, right? You can get pretty free with that. And then just filled in these triangles with stitch, some kind of stitch. In my case, I've kind of really fallen in love with this rows of wrap stitch. And you can see here, I'm doing another one here. This one is done, though, over the pattern in the cloth, and although the black and the blue are very kind of hard to see, you can also work with a print. If you have any gingham checks or large patterns, or this one happens to be a print, and you can add your triangles around any area of that and stitch in. And I think I'm going to try one on this one because I never say enough about the backs of prints. Like sometimes you want to know how to age fabric or make it look kind of funky. Try using the back, because the back is just, well, let's call it the other side, is really interesting. A lot of times very sketchy, especially on a print, And then you can come in and, on a large fabric, you could probably just randomly pick out squares and actually transform the whole cloth into some kind of wishing cloth. But that can work too, Originally I started using it on patchwork, and the problem with that is you can still do it, but then you've got all these seams and stuff behind, and it makes it a little bit more uneven to stitch. So doing it on an all even cloth is easier, and I really like these the most because of the way it isolates the pattern, and still you have the same pattern in another way, and it just has a nice effect on the whole thing. And it's one layer. I very often color these in too, because my goal is always just to cover that area with stitch. So there's so many ways to do it, but I think if you don't have the dyed version, you can always pick up some cloth that you have already and try to make it into a star. I thought to myself, I even had this, which I've already stitched, and I could add points to that as well. The other thing is, before I stitch, I like to have 2 layers, depending on the cloth. For some reason, the 2 layers always catch the needle better, and it's really easy to control your stitch, especially dense stitch, when you have more than 1 layer. It prevents it from scrunching up too much and prevents some of the initial tension issues. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about why the dyed patchwork is really nice for stitching. It's because of the 1 layer, and it's just you don't have any patchwork issues there.